Aiba. Where could she have gone? Forget her. I need to find Nat-chan. I should check with Sekigahara if there's been any progress. A city in ruins. Erika Aiba is a robot? Or, more accurately, a criminal by the name of Juro Izumi, who has no physical body of his own. He wanted to do something to me. Something that involved shooting me up with nanomachines. The Kisaragi involved in the bathroom incident. It was really just a robot built to look like her. Then that robot got damaged and was disposed of in the old school building. And now, the robot's brain is in Aiba's body. So the box I thought was a projector was actually a talking machine named Miura. And the stuff Nat-chan wrote in her notebook, she must have been talking about that. So it wasn't just made up. I'm sorry for doubting you, Nat-chan. How many days has it been since Nat-chan went missing? I was told she'd be able to find food, but I'm worried about her. I should hurry and get to the old building. Sekigahara is there. Some flirty rich kid. I saw something that looked like a weapon in the Shikishima. Anyone there? Are you in here? Where is he? He said he was gonna be hiding around here. Maybe he's still looking for her. Or maybe he got caught.
We are here.
Sekigahara, what happened?
The nanomachine separation inside the brain is progressing.
What does that mean?
He is in the same condition as Ryoko Shinonome.
Hey.
I still have my memory. I just ran out of my pills. Don't mind me. You were searching for Natsuno Minami. We've determined her location. She's in Sector 3.
What?
Miura?
It is only speculation. But there is a high probability that she is there.
Okay, great! Let's go get her! Oh, wait. Sekigahara.
Go without me. I just needed to tell you. Besides, the black suits are only after me now. It'd be bad if they think you're my accomplice. Better to avoid being seen together at all. Come over here.
What is it? What is this thing?
Take it with you.
I don't know how to use it.
You'll need it to save Minami. I need to ask you a favor in return. Miura is carrying a message for me. If I were to ever lose my memory, I need you to show me that message.
Will you be okay by yourself?
Myself is just about all I can handle. I'm sure Shinanome's medicine is in the nurse's office. Miura seems to be in a hurry. Please, go with him.
So? Where is Nat-chan?
Southeast, 3.2 kilometers. There is an unusual concentration of androids.
Great. More of those creepy-ass robots.
They must have found something.
Something? You mean Nat-chan?
This unit possesses no attack capabilities. It is up to you.
I know. I won't fail. I'm ready. Lead the way.
They're back. They won't come in here. But if I take even one step outside, they'll attack. Ever since I got here, they just keep on coming. I ate my last can of food yesterday. And now the soda I was taking sips from is empty too. Oh, what should I do? Am I going to die here? Without anyone knowing?
Aim for the battery.
That's what I'm doing! Like I'm supposed to know how to use a freaking gun.
You did well.
No way. Yuki-chan?
Nat-chan! I'm so glad you're okay.
Yuki-chan!
I finally found you. You're safe now, all right?
I know. But why are you here, Yuki-chan?
I'd come find you anywhere, Nat-chan. Even if I have to cross time and space to do it.
Oh, Yuki-chan!
The Gene Bowler's magnetic shield is still active.
BJ!
It is why the androids could not approach.
You came back for me!
Of course. Small talk must come later. There are 4 androids approaching.
Let's go. No matter what comes our way, I will protect you. With everything I have.
Cool! This should be a good spot, right? The river's nice and wide. Plus, no one else is around. It shouldn't be a problem if the Sentinel pops up here.
Are you going to summon it right now? Perhaps we should wait until nightfall.
Well, we're going to send it right back, aren't we?
If it's only for a second, then we should be fine.
I want to change the registered pilot of Sentinel number 17. To you, Natsuno.
Wait, right here? Why?
I was previously using Miura's ID. However, the ownership of the ID returned to him.
It's because I operated Sentinel number 19.
I can no longer pilot a Sentinel. In order to shift to the Sentinel, it must receive a new pilot. And this change comes with a price. It will reset the Sentinel's stored memory.
Wait, that's not good.
Then, what do we do?
We'll transfer all data logs to me. If it's done at the same time we change the registered pilot, I should be able to secure the log data.
Good thinking, BJ.
Natsuno. From now on, Sentinel number 17 will be...
Right, no problem. I'll be the one who pilots the robot. And I'll fight together with my pal BJ.
As long as Nat-chan isn't in any danger.
Sentinel number 17 will protect Natsuno.
If anything, I should be the one fighting.
There is another Sentinel for you.
What did you say?
You must work together and survive.
You know it.
Both processes must be performed concurrently. Natsuno, it's time to activate.
Okay. Dang, that was fast.
Now send it back, Nat-chan.
How do I do that? Huh?
It disappeared.
Does that mean it worked, BJ? BJ? You okay, buddy? Say something.
He's no longer with us.
What?
BJ was the only one who could retrieve the log data. But the storage capacity on a scout unit like that is limited. He couldn't store both the log data and his own AI data. So in order to make room for the logs, he deleted himself.
No. No, you're wrong. He's just fooling around. Come on. Wake up, BJ. BJ.
Chihiro. No point in trying to make sense out of his story. It's still too early to say anything for sure. But a scout unit from the future? And it possesses my consciousness? The footage he showed us is allegedly from the future. If it's real, then how am I still alive 200 years from now? All I know for certain is that it's no ordinary scout unit. Chihiro. She was acting like a completely different person. Design engineer? Controlling the system? What was she talking about? Chihiro. What's happened to her? Chihiro Morimura? She's the original Chihiro? Is there no going back to the way she used to be? Chihiro. Natsuno-san. I'm not sure why, but I really want to hear her voice right now. Could she still be at school? Natsuno-san. Get it together, Keitaro. She certainly is quite... No point in trying... Even if I do bring... Back in... Natsuno-san's over there.
do?
What's the hurry?
Miura-kun. BJ's gone. I'm pretty sure he's lost somewhere by himself. If he's caught, we'll never see him again.
All right. Let's split up and find him.
Okay. He couldn't have gone too far. Maybe he's inside one of the school buildings.
Okay, then you search the buildings. I'll search the campus perimeter.
Okay, I'm on it. Thanks.
Did you see that flying RC thing?
It went back behind the North School building. Think it belongs to the radio club?
It was all boxy and weird shaped. Didn't look like a helicopter to me.
So it can fly. Behind the North building. That's where the old school building is. No sign of him. Sounds like rotor blades. Are you trying to draw attention to yourself? Natsuno-san's worried about you.
Keitaro Miura. I've been scanning for you from overhead.
Well, that's fortunate. I've been looking for you, too. Is what Sekigahara said true? Are you... me?
That's correct. I am Keitaro Miura.
At this point, nothing I hear should surprise me anymore. Why do you look like this?
When the world was destroyed, I died. I had to take your place and fight in the Sentinel. In order to do this, I was resurrected as an AI.
So you've been using a Sentinel to fight off those monsters. That's what you're looking for, right?
Correct.
Then how did your AI end up in this scout unit?
There was a malfunction in the Sentinel. So I uploaded a part of myself to this drone. However, 72% of me is still wrapped inside the Sentinel.
Does Natsuno-san know that you're me?
We didn't get a chance to meet in the previous world. I'm very fond of Natsuno. It's best that she doesn't know.
If you're really from the future, then you must know. What's going to happen?
My experiences are all from past events.
Past events?
Time is relative. Even with future technology, time travel is impossible. We never traveled through time.
But you're Keitaro Miura from the future, right?
I'm an entity that used to be Miura. Before you. I located the Sentinel. I can now access all logs.
So the rest of the footage is available.
Promise me. Before the final invasion begins, you'll research the logs and figure out a solution. Chihiro Morimura's plan. Operation Aegis. It will lead you all down a path of destruction.
Chihiro's plan?
Promise me.
Why are you asking me this?
Because I'll be gone soon.
Morimura-san,
Is all going as planned?
all issues have been resolved on my end. 4 sectors are ready for the final phase. The remaining one is at roughly 70%.
Sectors.
Their structures are similar to these colonies. So that's what I've been calling them.
So we'll have 5 sectors then.
I've chosen not to divide them based on orbital positions. Instead, I've separated them by historical eras. I've been meaning to ask, why don't we create a residential district of the present day?
The decision was made to start over. From a time before the world took such a terrible turn.
Before the nanomachine incidents?
Perhaps humanity tasted the fruit of knowledge too early. When it was being decided how far we should go back, we couldn't come to an agreement. So we ultimately settled on preparing residential districts by era.
I've always wanted to live in the 20th century before the war. So this works out perfectly. However, some resources of the era are quite old. Accurately reproducing them might pose a difficulty. I don't think I can do it with confidence.
That's fine. As long as our civilization survives, I'll be happy.
Once it's completed, just one district will be the size of a city. It'll have a bustling population of 1.2 million people.
We have more residential areas than we originally planned. Miss Karabe's hands are going to be awfully full.
I'm sure everything will be finished on time. I have to get back to work.
Understood.
Looks like I've lost them for now. I have to consider my next moves carefully. I should stay near the station. No, I should sort out my thoughts. These numbers are for the message service. One set is the... So the numbers were for a message service. I wonder who would have left a message for me.
You've reached the automated message service. Please enter your user number. Please enter your password. You have 2 new messages.
Hello, A. It's me. Turns out I was wrong. There are no outcomes where this ends well. My advice to you is to stop living in the past. You're responsible for your own future now. Hey, it's me. Well, you. I imagine you're pretty confused right now. Hearing this message, unable to remember a thing. So, I've entrusted a message to a good friend of ours. If you seek him out, you'll likely find him with Natsuno Minami. Looks like I'm out of time. Above all else, finish the job. It's for your sake. Understood? What does that mean?
Why does this guy keep If that message from myself was true, then Natsuno Minami is a key figure in all this. She may get me a step closer to recovering my memories. If I can really believe what I heard, that is. I guess I'd better get my hands on that data unit and find out. I'll do some investigating of my own on Minami. I just need to find her first. Now, how should I approach this? A girl with red... A gun from the... I wouldn't mind having Fuyusaka tag along. She may even be able to help me find Natsuno Minami. But I don't want to get her mixed up in all this. Chihiro Morimura's objective. One with great implications. Especially for those from another world, like me. If Operation Aegis succeeds, we'll never be able to leave this world. That must be it. That must be why I killed her. Wait a minute. When I met up with Fuyusaka this morning, a girl passed by and said she was going to the track room. Wasn't that Natsuno Minami? I'll wait for school to get out tomorrow. Then I'll head over to the track room. Fuyusaka's at the front gate. She's still waiting for me. Things might heat up again. I can't drag her into this. If anything were to happen to her, I wouldn't be able to forgive myself. Fuyusaka wasn't kidding. They're crawling all over campus. I'd better stay out of sight. They must be trying to pin me down here. Guess I'm steering clear of the track room for now. Excuse me. Where can I find someone who's on the track team?
Oh, well, we're on the track team.
Do you need something?
We have stuff we need to do, so...
If you don't need anything, we'll be leaving now.
I'm looking for a student by the name of Natsuno Minami.
Oh, Minami? She went for a run around the school. She hasn't come back yet.
Yep, that's right.
Around the school. Got it. Thanks. That's... She's the one who delivered that package to me. The one that contained the message to myself. Looks like she goes to this school too. Where'd she go? Is she messing with me? She's definitely up to something. Natsuno Minami.
Bastard! Stay the hell away from Nat-chan!
Wait, Yuki-chan!
For what? This asshole just held a gun to your face!
Stop this right now, you two!
Fine.
You seem to know who I am. Care to explain what's going on?
You really forgot everything, huh? Just like Shinonome. That's why I can't get a good read on you. Hard to tell whose side you're on right now.
You two. You lured me all the way over here. What are you planning?
Planning? I thought you came for him, right?
Him? That's what showed me the footage of myself.
Wrong. That's not the same one I gave you. That unit was a different one supplied by the SIU. They're the ones who had it say all those things.
SIU?
It's where those guys in black are from.
How do you... Just who in the world are you?
I'm Yuki. Yuki Takamiya.
Are you working with the SIU?
Strictly speaking, no.
Then why cooperate with them?
Got no choice. They're keeping tabs on Nat-chan.
So those black suits wanted me to see that footage. But why? Yuki Takamiya. She delivered the data unit to me near the riverbank. She seemed to have known me before I lost my memories. So this is it. This is the data unit I was told to seek out.
There's a message for you.
A message?
He asked me to show it to you. So, here it is.
Nat-chan.
Why? Why did you temporarily erase your memories? Was it because of me?
Yes. I can't let them get their hands on this information.
My partnership with Ida. My dishonesty. You knew all along. Didn't you, Miura?
You might not know this, but you're a terrible liar.
I guess so. Why didn't you show me the data after it was analyzed? Because you took pity on me?
Some things are best left unknown.
I disagree. I should know about my own past. No matter how terrible I was. Can you link me to the logs through this message?
Sekigahara.
Please, Miura. Show me the logs from 2188. Who's the target?
The leading figure in nanotech research. Chihiro Morimura.
She's a former executive of Newman Inc.
After she left the company, I allowed her to participate in Shikishima's project. The project was put on hold, but she continues working on it despite our warnings. Our company will suffer massive losses as a result.
That's not the real reason.
Excuse me.
You pushed for the acquisition of Newman Inc. And that initiated a backdoor transfer of a large slush fund.
What are you basing this on?
Morimura's Interstellar Development Project. It was one of 12 that were showcased for the acquisition. You used the project as a cover for the real use of your funds. But Morimura's actions threw a wrench in your plans. If an international agency were to catch wind of the situation, they'll definitely launch an investigation. And that will put you in danger of losing your position.
Are you threatening me, Sekigahara?
Like I'd waste my time. I'm an assassin. A professional. If I'm expected to perform my job perfectly,
and I need every last detail on my target.
Sector 4. It's another colony that's still under construction. You'll find her research lab there. I'll be heading into orbit myself next month for an inspection. I want the job handled by then, and be discreet. I've just sent over security details for Sector 4. You'll also find a security personnel ID for your use. Eliminate Chihiro Morimura and put an end to the project.
First, I'll have to confirm receipt of your payment.
What was all that about? Morimura's that one teacher, right? You came here from the future to kill her? But more importantly, the hell were you doing with that four-eyed bastard?
I'm an assassin? Morimura. So I really did do it. No. I wasn't going after Fuyusaka next, was I? And I've been lying to Miura. Was it about the change in command? No. That can't be right.
There you are.
Keeping an eye on me with your drone?
Finding you was simply a coincidence. Just like you, I'm now considered deceased. Ever since the battle in Sector 2, I've been in hiding. I wasn't too worried about you. Knowing you, I figured you'd keep yourself out of trouble.
So tell me, back on the battlefield in 2064, who used DD-426?
Someone did his research. Your Sentinel was the source of the infection. So the evidence suggests that you're the one who used it.
Guess that's how it looks.
I'm not sure who the real culprit is. However, Chihiro Morimura enacted Operation Aegis after we lost. Isn't that why you're here? To see how things went in Sector 3?
What is Operation Aegis? Just look at this place. What the hell happened?
Sector 3 was used as a trial run of sorts. It was the only terminal tested on, but it was enough to activate the self-defense system. Sector 4 will be the real deal.
The 1980s.
Once all the terminals are sealed by the self-defense system, then Operation Aegis will be fulfilled. If that succeeds, we'll no longer be able to loop. And we can't let that happen. Unfortunately, your city is doomed to forever be in ruins. If we're unable to loop anymore, that is.
By loop, you mean going back in time, right? How is that different from shifting?
Well, this world was created only 15 years ago. You come from a different world, where the year is 2064. Your world never existed prior to 2049.
Never existed? But we're in 2025 right now, aren't we?
This is neither the past nor the future. That's how the 5 sectors were designed. They were created when you arrived from another world.
This all sounds like nonsense. I've had enough of this crap. If there's really some other world, then prove it.
I take it you're aware of Miura's logs.
Logs?
Logs of the year 2188. I made an interesting discovery after studying the data myself. I learned that the real world is in 2188. We were meant to return there eventually. However, this world is destroyed before that time can come. A tragic incident indeed. Especially if it was the result of someone's careless actions. Our enemies, the ones we call kaiju, have one goal: to gain control over every mainframe in all sectors. Once that's accomplished, the 5 sectors will reset. This causes the world to be recreated. And that includes you. Miura and I didn't exactly go back in time. We merely skipped the recreation. You're looking rather pale. Perhaps you should take your pills. Didn't you deliver those pills to Miura? For Izumi and Shinonome-kun? You and the others have no hope of fully recovering. However, there is a way for you to survive.
How?
I'll extract your data from before you lost your memories. Then I'll take it with me to the recreated world. That should stop the effects of DD-426.
Can you really do that? So then, what do you need me for?
To make sure we can loop, of course. I intend to stop Operation Aegis so we can start over again. And if I'm going to do that, I'll need your help. Still don't believe me?
Not really.
Well, you will once you see the logs for yourself. I need you to find Sentinel number 17. I know he made a copy of it. The data will be useful in the next world, so I'd like to get my hands on it. See that drone over there?
Drone? This thing?
Yes, but don't activate it just yet. That's no ordinary drone. It's him.
Miura?
It was before the Sentinels were randomly transmitted. He transferred himself into that drone and escaped. I managed to secure him in Sector 2. He doesn't entirely agree with my methods, though. As such, he's chosen not to cooperate. It would be best if you told him you saved him from me.
Come again?
You're going to convince him that you've saved him. Then, you'll retrieve the data from him.
You're asking me to lie to him?
He received command over Sentinel number 17 instead of me. I'm not exactly sure why, but he's the only one who can track and activate it. For your sake, cooperate. I'll ensure that Miura comes with us. Above all, this is for you and Shinonome-kun. Well then. You can't use the gate at school due to structural damage. I've set new coordinates further ahead. Feel free to use that one.
Hang on, I never—
To avoid suspicion, I'll have my men continue following you. They won't be aware of our plans, however. So try not to get caught. I'm heading back to Sector 4.
Sekigahara.
Hey, Miura. I'm glad you're okay.